Hello, let's start the class. We're going to go into one important part of the Tao practice. It's called the inner smile, the smiling sunshine that can dissolve a lot of problem in our life. Sickness, the same, So when we learn how to turn inwardly and deeply inside you, now you can find out that there are many frozen blockage, emotional blockages in the organs. Energy can be closing down in the channel, and I tell you, this one really works. And you go right into solving the core, the real problem, okay? And you're working with the core problem. So for 1,000 years, the Tao already mapped out the negative emotional that within us. So the organ, when we have too much negative emotional, it blocks the organs, or we call stress and emotional cause sickness. So the like we said, the heart, the negative emotional, like hatred. Hatred really blocks the heart. Or when people have so much hate, the electricity in the heart are blocked and cannot releasing out into all the other cells. Like the spleen, we call worry, anxiety, and not trust. Cannot trust anything. We talk about a major, we call a yin organ, that is the heart, the spleen, the lung is a major organ. And we have the yang organ is an empty organ, we call yang. Like the heart and the last intestine, one pair, so one yin, one yang. We call negative and positive. So lungs store energy, but the last intestine is empty, so we call yang organ. Like, so the lungs store sadness, depression, grief. Kidney is a yang organ, and the bladder is the yin organ because it's empty. And it stores fear, phobia, trauma. Liver is a yang organ, but gallbladder is open a sac, and the gallbladder are empty into the duodenum. So but nowadays the gallbladder not always can be empty and cause a lot of trouble. And we believe the liver store negative part is angry, jealous, envy. And the positive part is kindness, compassion. And they come back to the heart again. Heart store love, joy, happy, appreciation, hatred, impatience, hastiness. And the small intestine is empty, but it's affected by the heart, So stomach is empty, and the spleen is a full organ. So the spleen store worry, anxiety. So the negative emotional will block the organs, a major yin organ that store the energy. Now, I like the practice because when people turn inwardly, inside is darkness. But in the olden time, we don't know what to do because it's very hard to access any anatomy. But now the anatomy is so real, and we have the organs, and we know that we have that. Human mind is looking at the image and color, and it recognize it and make connection. I mean, the brain are born to connect. That means in our life, the brain are connecting to all the organs. And we have the sympathetic and parasympathetic and the vagus nerve. They all connecting to each organ. When we believe that, I know that the mind, the brain, the spinal cord connecting to all the organs. And when you know the location and know how the organ look like, all you do is hold the image. So that's why the Tao don't use the statue or any other thing, but using your real organ and you turn inwardly, this is your. But later on, when you go up to the energy, it can change to, when you're connecting with energy, inside, outside, now you can be anything in it. When we don't see anything, all the energy turn to image, vision, and all kind of things. So all our energy go right into image, and all the we call all the picture, all the visualization, all kind of thing. But you have the real organ, and if you smile to the organ, it really do a big difference on yourself. You know, the West discovered this. I think is so good. It's amazing good. Sympathetic and parasympathetic. The sympathetic usually make us awake, make us active, but sometimes it's too much active, too much emotional. It make us, or we have emotional, and you go right into, and too much stress, and we go right into the fight and fight response. So we say a survival mode. When we go into the survival mode, now the body shutting down all the organ energy. You know, we eat 3 meals. Each time we need 5 hours to digest. But when we are stressed and emotional, now we are turn ourselves into the fight mode. When we turn ourselves to the fight mode, they need energy to, the body will automatically shift all the power to the hand and leg. Because you are in the survival mode, life and death. You either fight or either you run. So we need all the energy to fight or not all the energy to run. And the body just forget the digestion. Just forget it, okay? And just put all the energy to hand and leg. But we have another system called parasympathetic. It's we call the hypothalamus is the master switch. So when we train to be balanced, when we're too much stress, the body will turn into parasympathetic, or we call calm down, relax, and the body will digest very well in a parasympathetic. Rest, relax, smile, and digestion started to happen. Repair, detox, digestion. We all know negative thought can make us sick. Positive thought can make us happy and well. But when we don't train, we can just turn into stress by our thought. And we're very stressful in a fight mode. And when it's so much stress and fight mode, we go into a survival mode. When you learn how to focus and getting the power energy, dissolve all the negative, now we can control. We always maintain more in a parasympathetic, not too much in the sympathetic, that into the fight and fight response mode. When we in the stress, extreme stress and extreme in the fight mode, all the digestion, absorption, elimination going to be suppressed. Because the body don't know that you think about something and you're so stressful, and all the energy go into the hand and leg in order to fight and stress. The body don't know. They only know that, hey, you're in a fight mode, you're in a survival mode. But people just sit there and think about all the problem and go into the fighting and fear and stress mode. But when you're into the parasympathetic mode, rest, relax, and the body started to digest, absorb, elimination, and rebuild and feed the body. And that is along the spine. There are 2 channels, actually 4 channels, and actually in the Tao we call the bladder meridian. Okay, and that is a parasympathetic. Now, by smiling into the organs and relaxing into the spinal cord, you already go right into the parasympathetic mode, and it activates all the digestion, absorption, elimination.